Now we will do some practice questions from fixed income, module 5, fixed income markets for government issuers. Coming to first question, balance sheet of government entities are unlikely to include forex reserve, they are included, long term debt, they are also included, accrual of unfunded liabilities. Accrual of unfunded liabilities are not included in balance sheet of government. Why? What is accrual of unfunded liabilities? That is, there is some liability obligation in future for which government has not yet funded. For example, pension. After 30 years, government has to pay pension, that is a liability for which government has not set aside some funds for that payment. So these things are unfunded liabilities. It is not funded. So accrual of unfunded liabilities is not shown in balance sheet of government entities. Next question. In practice, which of the following applies as it relates to the sovereign government financing? Sovereign government financing. Government seek to minimize interest rate and rollover risk by distributing debt across maturities while issuing debt in regular, predictable intervals. It cannot depend on taxpayers' consumption. Yeah, it cannot depend on taxpayer consumption over time. So, sovereign government financing means it takes debt, that means it issues bonds at time to time maturities and rollovers. These all it will do. It won't depend on whether tax payments will come, what about the future tax cuts, those all it won't depend. Now coming to third question, which of the following is correct regarding single price auction process? Here, how this auction process starts? Whoever quotes at lowest yield, that means the highest bond price, that is the cutoff price. For example, it will start from 10 percentage, 10 percentage, next 9 percentage, next 8 percentage, next 7 percentage. Since the 7 percentage is the lowest yield that is quoted and it is the only highest bond price, that is the cutoff price. So for that price only, all the bidders will be allotted the bonds. Hence, the option C is correct. All non-competitive bids are accepted while competitive bids are ranked starting at the lowest yield. Okay, it is ranked as per lowest yield, that is a high bond prices, and all non-competitive bids are also they will accept and they will issue the bonds for that price only. Next, on the run sovereign debt securities. So on the run sovereign securities, this is the rate at which we take as a benchmark for comparison, for analyzing anything. This is the benchmark rate because it is on the run security. Now going to fifth question. A non-sovereign bond issued to fund public goods and services in the non-sovereign's limited jurisdiction, that is repaid from local tax cash flows, is referred to as general obligation bonds. It is a non-sovereign jurisdiction. You understand that this is a non-sovereign jurisdiction under which some goods and services are being provided, and out of that some revenue will be generated. So all these finances happen through general obligation bonds. It is not a revenue bond, it is not an agency bond. Revenue bond means, for example, infrastructure, roads, bridges, tunnels, toll plazas, etc. An agency bond means like government sponsored debt issuers like airport authority, specific service based things. Next, we are going to sixth question. Government agencies issue debt that is primarily repaid by cash flows related to its underlying activities. This is very simple question. Now we are going to seventh question, that is quasi governmental bonds are most likely repaid from cash flows generated by the issuer or from the project being financed. So, quasi government means it is not a national government, and you should not understand it is next to national government like state government. It is not the thing. Quasi government means entities that issue debt in order to fund the government sponsored provisions of specific public goods or services like airport authority, such things. These are quasi government bonds.